Hello, my name is Brimstone, and welcome to the Eden Esports Bar Hearthstone Tournament. I'm joined tonight by my cast and ice Tim. We're going to have some good old games of Hearthstone together. So, Tim, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Excited to be here and give this a go at the old casting. So, for anyone viewing, our tournament today is going to be best of three and conquest, and it's single elimination as well. So, um, we currently have seven competitors, and yeah, it's going to be a great day for Hearthstone.
Absolutely. The first game that we've got today is going to be Softon versus 200 Midgets. Um, just so you know as well, this is probably going to be the last tournament that we actually cast during the Year of the Mammoth. Because as we know, later on this week, all the Witchwood stuff's coming out, which means rotation comes in. We lose Whispers of the Old Gods, we lose Mean Streets of Gadgetsan, and we lose Corazon. So that's going to be all changed next tournament, which is in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Definitely
we're
looking.
gonna have some lovely new cards to play about with before then. See how the meta evolves, what becomes strong, what drops off the radar. It's always an exciting time for Hearthstone when you get a new expansion. Even more exciting when a lot rotate out because it's just going to be so much more of a change.
Exactly, and there's a lot of strong cards that we're losing. Like straight off the bat, Firelands Portal is such a wheelhouse card for mages. Hopefully, we'll see it played a bit tonight. Not sure exactly what the decks these guys are using, but we'll find out soon enough once we get into the first match. And so we're just waiting for the players to be ready, and then we'll have them on stream ready to go for you.
Yeah, our first competitors are going to be Soften and X200 Midgets X. So um, we're not sure
Yeah,
what decks they're bringing. It's a closed format, so it's going to be a surprise for us as much as it's going to be for them and their competitors as to what decks are being brought.
hopefully we're going to see some Q blocks because that's probably my favorite deck at the minute. I really enjoy it, and got me to Legend last season, so always good. And what about you, Tim? Any decks you're excited to see tonight, potentially for the last time?
For the last time, I would love to see some Murloc Paladin. Uh,
Murloc Paladin, just the
yeah,
ultimate new smork, just face. Just throw more Murlocs out there, just buff them up. Fantastic deck. And hopefully, we should see even more of a rise of Dude Paladin when the next set comes in. There's some pretty nice Paladin legendaries coming out, especially the Liam Greymane. That's pretty fun. I think there's going to be a lot of strong cards and a lot that we're going to be able to deal with.
yeah, it's gonna be fun to see what's the most broken deck that you can possibly play on ladder to climb with. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Um, I'm
absolutely.
looking forward to seeing how Mage turns out. There's a lot of strong cards that seem to be announced for it, so it'll be a fun one.
Absolutely, especially with Mage losing Ice Block with it going into the Hall of Fame this year. Um, should be quite sad to see it go. But I mean, it's the way with Hearthstone. There's got to be balance, and it is such a strong card. Being able to cheat death essentially for that one extra turn. But I mean, there's the new card that was revealed the other day as well, wasn't it? The Discover a Secret. Can't remember for the life of me its name, but let's just double check, see if I can find it. So, yeah, do you remember what was the name of that
Which one
card,
was it?
Tim?
Sorry.
It was the Mage minion 2 Discover a Secret.
Oh, the 4 mana 2/2 discover a secret and put it in play. I don't remember the name. Um,
For mana. Put it in play as well. Wow.
yeah,
That's even more powerful than I thought. I thought it was just discover and put it in your hand, but
no, it puts it in
that's
play.
pretty
Then
ridiculous.
we have Archmage Arugal as well, who you draw a minion, add a copy to your hand,
Yeah.
along with the new Mage spell, draw 3 cards, discard any spells for 2 mana. Well, that's pretty
That's
strong.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of strong legendaries coming in. For example, the Warlock one that's essentially a pumped up defile that doesn't damage itself, but it does 2 damage if it kills a minion, do 2 more damage to all of the minions.
Yeah, Lord Godfrey, just what Warlock needed in their time of greatest
Absolutely.
need.
Yeah, even more clear and control for Warlock. And that's a deck, like, Cube Warlock isn't really losing much when it comes to the rotation. Really, all they're losing is the Mistress of Mixtures and N'Zoth. And not even every deck plays N'Zoth.
Yeah,
So,
well,
it,
I'd say Cube Warlock still going to be very strong going
yeah,
into this next year. We'll see
absolutely.
just how strong. Blizzard have said it's on their radar, and if it does seem to be too strong, they will go ahead and nerf it. But
Yeah.
how soon is that going to be? And we do have 2 brand new archetypes coming as well. Let's not forget. We'll have Baku the Moon Eater. If your deck has only odd cards, upgrade your hero power. So things like Hunter deal 3 damage for 2 mana every turn. That seems pretty good.
Pretty strong, especially with Hunter being able to go so aggressive. It's just only the sky's the limit, really, with that. Just apologise for the delay. We have had a couple of technical issues, but it looks like we are getting ready to go into game now. So we'll go straight into the first match between 200 Midgets and Soften. Once we finish providing the guards.
Yep, and here we are. Sorry, we have missed the mulligan. The game's already started.
So it looks like we've got good old-fashioned Murloc Paladin, just as you wanted to see, Tim.
Yep.
Pretty strong start. Looks like we've got the Gentle Megasaur, Spikeridge Steed in there, just so we can get some extra buffs on those Murlocs in case anything nasty comes out from what Midget's playing. At the moment, not entirely sure. He's only played the Netherspite Historian. It's pretty much anything in any priest deck at the moment.
Yep. We're just trying to sort out why we're not seeing both sets of cards, but hopefully for the next game we should have that handled.
Good old teething problems. And on 4 Dustbringer, that old classic Priest 4, just so nasty against Murloc decks. I mean, thankfully the Murlocs were buffed, just so we could manage to have some kind of board presence, though this isn't looking good for Soften. But thing with Paladin, you can really refill the board quicker.
Yeah, I mean, he does have some options here. He can maybe Gentle Megasaur, try and get a +1/+1, 3 attack. Or even Blessing the Kings, he goes for the Megasaur.
Thinking about it.
That's just going to help that minion stick around for a couple more turns.
Yeah. Personally, I would prefer to go Blessing the Kings, just get that Murloc even bigger. That way, if there is a second Dustbreaker, then it's going to really just cement board presence and you're just not going to get cleared out, which looks like is going to be the case here.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that trade, but it does look like this is potentially going to be a Spiteful Priest. We have here the Cobalt Scalebane, generally just in that deck. It's often here he can potentially just trade off both of these minions.
Options.
We'll see what he goes for.
That. Yeah, you could also use the Blue Girl Warrior as a quick charge into the Dustbreaker. Also buff it up a bit if you wanted to go face. We shall see.
He's going to buff the Buckbill Hunter.
Yeah.
And, well, okay, he's just going to go face.
Oh, it's small time it seems.
Well,
I was joking earlier.
He's going to say you have to be the one to trade into my minions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very solid strategy. Let's see if 200 Midgets has got an answer for this board.
And
Punish, pretty good answer
there, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's a definite punish. That's a very strong board, and with Murlocs, you can't really come back from a very strong board that your opponent's got. You don't have much clearing power just because the minions are usually so low health and low attack.
Yep, now let's see, what can he do? He can throw down Spike Ridge Steeds. He opts for the charge, and he's just gonna
See if he can make it.
see if he can make it.
Trading stuff any more buffs.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, he's got lethal on board still. And he can always Spike Ridge next turn if he wants to for a guaranteed minion that's going to stick around and do at least another 3 damage to face.
And there we go.
Oh, we can see exactly what he's got, and it is definitely spiteful. You were right. It's very nice.
Fantastic. And he just picks up the Sunkeeper Charm there. I fully expect to see him trade in. Yeah.
Cleared the board.
Very hard for Soften to come back.
Absolutely. I mean, the only way he's going to maintain presence on the board now is by using the Spike Ridge Seed and running it into the Cobalt Scalebane. Guaranteed. Or not.
He's already committed to going face, it seems. So he's going to stick with that line. I don't think that's going to turn out well for him here.
No.
With our perfect caster vision, we can see exactly what's going to come down. I mean, he can just trade this minion off, play a Spiteful Summoner, heal his face.
Absolutely.
I must
He goes up to 7, that puts him out of range of Leroy Jenkins, which may or may not be in this Murloc Paladin deck.
Indeed. I mean, we've seen both Blue Gill Warriors, so that's potentially all of the charges out. And we're going for, yeah, Draconid Operative. You want to play it safe with this. So I'm not sure.
That is incredible.
No, I'm not a fan of that either. When you've got such pressure on your side on board, you really want to be reducing your minions' attack. Especially when the Tyrant comes out.
Reporting for duty.
Very, very even still. Even with Paladin kind of being stopped.
Well played.
Let's see.
That is incredible.
A few emotes coming out now. Bit of friendly banter going on between these two players.
Yep, seems to be. Yeah, well, Midgets is still in a very good position here. He might be behind. Oh, and a Blessing of Kings picked up means he can just trade his Tyrant straight in. And I fully expect him to trade off the one remaining minion. And Soften's going to have a hard time coming back from this. He picks up the Grimescale Oracle. I fully expect the Divine Favor to come down here. He needs to draw something that will be able to bring him back into this game.
We just don't even know if he's got anything in his deck that can bring him back.
Well,
Because
he
really,
can't even
this
play
is
a second Spike Ridge Steed. You know,
It's 21 damage on board from Midgets. Potentially even more if he was to play the Spiteful Summoner and get a charge minion off.
yeah, well. So I fully expect the Noble Sacrifice to be picked here. It just takes one attack away from your face. Helps you survive another turn, but again, there's not much I'm sure he can do at this point.
Not really. You've just got to try and get through Tarim and get that extra 5 damage to face, which he could potentially survive another turn. If he can get through the Tarim and get that Rallying Blade down, then all we need is a Murloc to stick around. Especially with the War Leader in hand, that could be the case. He may still be able to just snatch this from the jaws of defeat.
But we do see the Duskbreaker, which can potentially just clear all of these Murlocs away if he heals up the Tarim afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again?
You are losing half your board, but you can just put that damage into the face first.
I'm just going to go for Spiteful.
Pinch of Death Cup. Heal of shoot.
We've got Charged Devil's Sword would be perfect.
But it's a taunt.
It's a big taunt. Yeah, that'll do. That'll absolutely do.
Again, midgets can get the favourable trades off here again.
Murloc's coming back, but it's not doing too much. It is just going to die straight away again. Most of the board is going to get cleared off, and there's not really much that I can see Soften doing to get through a 7-3 and an 8-8.
Nope.
Let's see what he decides. I mean, you can buff up a lot. You can probably take one of them out, use the Rallying Blade on the other one. It looks like it's just going to be short to get through 8-8.
Yep, he's not going to be able to get through these
You'll win, friend.
taunts. And
I can see.
that's the first game over, and
Well
Midget sticks at 1-0.
Absolutely, and this is Conquest, so that's Midget's Priest locked in. He gets to play one of his other decks, and Soften can choose either to stick with the Murloc Paladin or choose one of his others to carry on with. We'll wait and see what they decide to come up with now.
Yeah, and I think it all really goes back to the turns at the start of the game where Soften could have traded in and kept at least one of his minions alive, but he didn't, and then Midgets was just able to take the board, and Soften never got it back.
My blade burns
Absolutely.
with holy fire.
Straight into the next game now. Soften has decided to stick with the Murloc Paladin, which it's a solid deck. It can get the win through, while Midgets has gone on to his Mage, which more than likely will be secret.
Yeah, secret. Freeze Mage has, and it's a secret mage.
Yeah, secret. That one card, that's it. Secret all the way. But again, very strong starting hand here from Soften.
Yep. I think we're definitely going to see a Murloc Tie Caller. Oh, he's going to
Yeah, Tie Caller and
Tie Caller
maybe
too.
Coin-
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Next
Strong
turn he
play.
can get. Next turn he can get another 2 Murlocs out with the Tide Hunter, and then go straight to face for like 5.
Yep, and I fully expect. Yeah, Arcanel will just out this turn.
An incredible discovery.
Yeah, you want to try and get. There we go. Explosive Runes, perfect anti-aggro secret there. The camp spell doesn't do too much against Murlocs, just because really most decks you've got Divine Favor or Blessing of Kings, or the oh, what's the other card now? The 4 mana recruit 3 minions from your deck.
Call to
that cost
Arms.
2. Call to Arms. That's it. I call myself a Murloc player sometimes. Yeah, that's really all you counter in. Whereas if you can get the nasty Murlocs off the board and do damage to face,
Yeah.
then you're sitting pretty really, especially if you're hitting off a War Leader.
Soften has a choice now. Does he play the War Leader, or will he try and play around the Explosive Runes and maybe go for the Vile Inquisitor first?
Yeah, you can go Inquisitor, and you can go out with Hydrologist. That way, next turn, if there was Counter Spell down, you could have tested for that using a secret.
Yep.
He's played safe and he's been rewarded. That War Leader is safe and ready to go next turn for a lot of damage.
It's noble sacrifice. Getaway Kodo.
Yeah, personally, I'd say maybe Redemption. That way, you're keeping your board solid, especially when you're ahead with 4 minions to 1.
Yeah, and I think he managed to draw.
Let's move.
If you,
Nope, still no trading. Okay.
no, I wouldn't trade in that situation, especially with 4 Murlocs and Redemption next turn with a War Leader more than likely. You've got a very solid board state, and even if one of your lone Murlocs gets pinged, that's wasting 2 mana of your opponent's, and it just comes straight back to life. So it's kind of a win-win situation to have more on the board in this.
I
Yep.
wonder.
Doesn't have the redemption up though at the minute, so
No.
I wonder.
So it's-
I wonder what Midgets will go for here. I expect the Mana Worm certainly to come down. Maybe the Sorcerer's Apprentice and then throw a Frostbolt out as well.
That'd be very solid. Could save the Frostbolt in case the War Leader comes down.
Okay.
So he's going straight for the counter spell.
This is good too. Turn 4, call the arms. It's not going to happen here. And if he tries the Blessing of Kings, I fully expect him to play Redemption then War Leader.
Yeah. I mean, Midgets has already seen in the last game that this deck does have Blessing of Kings in, so he is able to counter that quite nicely. Which looks like it may be happening now.
So that's...
Yeah. That's very well played.
Yeah. He's going to trade into one. Yeah. Okay. Well, he's got him down to 18 so far. But
here comes the clear and control from the
yep,
mage.
and sometimes the 12 crystal runner, and again, Soften has lost the board.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, really, with his hand, there isn't much refill. You can maybe hero power, play a war leader just to get them out there and pressure the crystal runner, which, again, that's the card that we're going to be losing later on this week. While crystal runner from Mean Streets of Gadgets and is going. One of the big, powerful cards in Secret Mage, but like we said before, there's a lot ready to jump into that spot. A lot of very powerful cards.
Yep, there certainly is. So Soften here is probably War Leader and Redemption, which is going to be met by a Frostbolt and a Ping, I would say.
More than likely,
And
it's
another Mana Worm.
Yeah, just build that board even more. I mean, you could even get away with just checking my maths now. Yeah, you could even get away with playing the Sorcerer's Apprentice too at the same time.
Yep, definitely.
Which, yeah, that's exactly what Midgets is going for right there.
And the Megasaur here just isn't going to be doing enough. He only has the one more up on the board. He gets its stealth.
Incredible. Amazing.
Yeah, not much you can do.
More emotes coming off from the players here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Polymorph Ping.
It's just playing out now. Midgets, he's got this under control. Looks like it's going to be 2-0 up as we are just waiting for Soften to play out his turn. And you might as well carry him with Spike Steed. You can maybe last a little bit longer. It is looking like it's
Not
game
with a
7 match.
fireball drawn.
Well played.
Always a fireball draw when it's needed from the
That is
mages there.
incredible.
Fantastic stuff. 2-0 and 200 Midgets is going on to his final round, which we'll find out soon.
Oh my word.
Yeah, so you just realise I've been trying to nudge you. Apologies for that, guys. The lack of video on that last game. Hopefully we were able to describe it well enough for you. And apologies there. A few minor teething issues as we start this casting here with Eden Sports Bar. Here we just waiting to see what's happening now with the players. Seems like we have lost one. Could be he's gone for the 2-0 concede, not sure. Could be a technical issue. We'll find out soon enough for you guys.
So our next game is going to be Isodynamis versus Toxic Bunny. And we're just going to take a quick break here and get back to you shortly.
Indeed. See you soon, guys. We are in the second game. It's already started. We've got ISO Dynamos versus Toxic Bunny, which is a mage versus hunter. Always good to see a hunter, Tim.
Yeah, well, it's one of the up and coming classes that, you know, Spell Hunter is a thing. People at the start of the expansion said it definitely wasn't, but it definitely is, and we'll just have to wait and see what exactly the deck it is we're seeing here.
Indeed. Seems like we've got definitely big spell priest. Priest? Mage priest.
Mage.
Big spells. Big.
It's definitely a Spell Hunter.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like Spell Hunter without Barnes and Yasharaj, unless we missed a very big turn. With the 2 Masai coming out. So, unfortunately, we cannot see what ISO has got in his hand. Most likely, it's going to be spells. Which spells, we're not quite sure at the moment. Yeah, it's fairly solid hand here from Toxic. Lots of control there, especially with the Frost Lich Jaina and the Archivist as well. Pretty nice minions, and he's a very good DK.
We do see the Grand Archivist in the hand though. That's certainly not a minion I would expect to be seeing in this sort of archetype. Yep, Dragon's Fury here, gonna not clear up the board, he's gonna have to ping as well.
Not too bad. I mean, that's your worst case scenario, and if you're able to clear off the board with a ping afterwards, that's still a win in my book, personally. Just have to wait and see with bated breath what ISO's got for us. It's a secret.
Well, he's got some secret stuff, and they are in fact a secret to us too.
We'll just have to wait and see. All Toxic really can do now is...
Gonna point out Frost Lich Jaina.
Job's done.
Very strong play.
Do not fear.
That's a pretty perfect turn 8 when Frost Lich Jaina is in your deck, to be honest.
Wield it.
Absolutely, especially when you're facing an empty board like you usually are against Spell Hunter, unless they manage to get the Spellstone off. But really, with Big Spell Mage, you can just control that very easily.
Yep, you have so many different tools. You have Dragon's Fury, Blizzard will slow it down for a turn, Flame Strike, Meteor. You name it, you've got it to be able to deal with this board. But saying that, Toxic Bunny is going very, very low and doesn't have a way to heal this turn.
An incredible discovery.
The best you can really hope for is to polymorph the Huffer and ping it. That way you get your elemental up, ready for healing next turn.
And he's going to throw out the Doomsayer and... Well, he's going to get his Ice Block popped very low here, and if he doesn't get another one up very shortly after that...
Let's pop on one as well.
Yep.
So that's gonna really essentially be game. Unless he can get something out for healing very, very quickly, which, looking at that hand, that's not the case.
And, well, he's popping him on 2, he could have popped him
Doesn't
on 1.
really
With your
matter.
Hunter Hero Power, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
but not a big issue at all, really. And also, ISO has got the information that the second Ice Block is still in the deck, or it was when the Dragon's Fury was played. So there's a pretty big chance that it's still in the deck, and he's got lethal right there. So the Archivist could pull it out and play it. We'll see.
And
No.
it does not. He took the one out he had in his hand. The Archivist kills himself, and Toxic Bunny goes ahead and concedes.
Yeah, 1-0. Which, it's not too bad. There's still time to come back. Big Mage is quite a difficult deck. I really haven't found any joy with it myself. But, I mean, I'm sure Toxic's played it enough to warrant bringing it to the tournament. I can't really see them having much issues. Hopefully they can get a game in. We can have a full 3-match game here today.
Yeah, well, hopefully this one can go all the way. We'll see what the next... Okay, we're going to have a warrior.
Ooh, do enjoy me some warrior,
You asked for it.
Now,
especially.
will this be the Dead Man's Hand warrior, or will we be seeing the resurgence of Pirate Warrior here?
The minute nobody can tell, though I have been seeing a fair bit of Pirate Warrior on ladder recently, so hopefully it could be. It's always a strong archetype, and out of the aggro decks, it's one of my favourites, so I can really just go there. Although Explorer and Goro hold.
Yeah,
That's,
that's an Explorer Goro. That's what I believe is a new card.
Yeah, it came out of Ungaro. You basically turn your entire deck into Discover cards. It's very, very fun, which means we could have some shenanigans if it gets drawn and played.
I have played this card in one deck before where I had a Gadgetzan Auctioneer in my deck, and it wasn't that good. But
Oh no!
hopefully, Isodynamis has found a way to bring this card to this tournament and make it good.
I really hope so. I really, really do, because that would be fantastic to see. Toxic playing out the hand very, very nicely there. Ice block's up, another ice block in hand, ready to go. So we're not going to have the issue that there was last game, where you just had to clutch for outs. So ISO has pulled out the Ravaging Ghoul. So looks to be some kind of... Yeah, this looks to be Dead Man's to me, personally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which, very, very good deck. Very controlling. Almost like old Fatigue Warrior from back in the day. See, clearing up the Tark Reaper there. And nothing too special, but ISO's got the board here. We'll just see what Toxic can pull back.
Yeah, we'll probably see a Skulkengeist here. Warrior runs at least 4 1-cost spells, and we'll see. Just the Seal Slam, there's no Whirlwind in this deck.
Shield Slam, that's a big, cheap removal tool of ISO's gone right then and there. And really, it's not too bad, especially with the removal that Warrior can have. You can see a Slam coming out there for some extra draw. At the end of the day, ISO just wants to get through the deck as quick as possible, set up a really good Dead Man's Hand, and just start chaining up armor and using his deck if this does go to fatigue, which it well could do.
Yep, the one thing Toxic Funny can really do here is if he runs Dirty Rats in this deck, he can take care of any Cold Light Oracles that could be in Isodynamis' hands. That stops the massive, completely insane draw that the Warrior can get away with when it goes infinite, and potentially save Toxic Bunny.
Let the
Absolutely.
pain
And that's
speak
a
to
pretty
me.
good servant of Yogg there, pulling out the Ironforge portal leading to the Infested Swirl. Gives a pretty good board. Here we see ISO just going straight for more draw and cycle there, and also playing out the Armor Smith. Fantastic package. Again, we're losing.
Where shall I strike?
He's a real wheelhouse for control and fatigue warriors.
Yep, and we've just seen another card there that we're going to lose to in the Firelands portal. Sad time for mage players, but
Yeah, they can live without it, I guess. Perfect sleep with the fishes there to clear off the board. And again, looks like this is going to be a game with a lot of hero powers from ISO and then potential passes if the board's clear.
yeah, well, we've seen the servants of Yogg-Saron come down, and Yogg-Saron now in the hand. This is going to be a fun game, Hearthstone.
Oh, this is going to go long, and we've had the information there that there are no more secrets left in Toxic's deck. It's just the 2 ice blocks that they're running. Yeah.
Yeah,
More
well,
draw.
what I'd fully expect from the big spell mage here. You run more than two, you run the risk of your Dragon's Fury just always damaging through.
Absolutely. Could just completely whiff. Ooh, we see a deck of wonders.
This
Deck
is a
of wonders.
casino mage. Yogg's
And
around,
Yogg.
praise you.
Oh, hail the Dark Lord Yogg. Let's see what we get. Mithril Golem. Good.
Oh, there was only a...
Oh,
Is that it?
that was a, yeah, that was a baby Yogg. Just the two spells. Abyss on himself, but that Mithril Spellstone, that's pretty decent. 5/5 on the board is nothing to
Well, I don't like the Elves around coming down so early. If it's one of your last grasp plays, you have so many spells in this deck. That Yogg-Saron could have easily cast up to 10 spells without killing itself. Probably less. Deck of Wonders, here we go. Casino Mage all the way.
see what shenanigans this deck can pull out, because the slots have been loaded now. I've just got to wait and see. We're probably going to get through the entire deck in this game. Let's not joke about that. This is going to happen. We will see.
Yep, we're in for a long one here.
Yeah, nothing special. Just the old Hero Battle Pass. Why would you do anything else?
Frostlich
Do
Chainer.
not fear power. Fear those who wield it.
Frostlich Chainer, I think, was definitely my favourite Death Knight that was released.
Pain, speak to me.
Ah. See, I was always a fan of the Uther Death Knight, so you can get the OTK Exodia kill essentially with your hero power. I was really liked that idea.
Yeah, well, Mage, probably my favourite class, so when something so good comes out, you can't help but love it.
Absolutely.
How many cards? Okay, well, we're going to see Lizard Dynamis Overdraw.
Yeah.
My hand is full.
Well, that's a lot of armor gain gone.
Yeah, not too much of a issue really now, since he's already had the other unidentified shield in his hand,
Yep,
using that to clear off. And Forge of Souls.
doing nothing. So, if he had any
Just-
weapons in his deck, they're now in his hand.
Yeah. So it could potentially...
Scroll of
just be
Wonder?
the- Oh, that's tiny. No, not impressed with that first one. I mean, it could just be that ISO was only running the two Blood Razors. I'm pretty sure we've seen both of them played already.
Well, that's what I would expect to see in this Dead Man's Hand Warrior. They don't tend to run anything else.
No. I mean, if you're going infinite, really, there isn't really any need for you to run anymore, especially since you've probably got Scourgelord Garrosh as well. Which again, another really, really good DK hero. So we're sat on, what, 50 health exactly for ISO at the moment.
Yeah, and he really did just play into this. He had a 1 attack minion on the board. It was going to be easy to ping the 2 health minion, but maybe he has a way to deal with it.
Could be. I mean, we've seen both sleep with the fishes.
Gadgets and steam.
It's like, if Dead Man's Hand's going to get played, it's potentially now. I know. Think the executors to clear off. It's solid strategy. Straight away able to generate another elemental there from the polymorph.
So Isodynamis probably has Brawl, 2 Dead Man's Hand,
Oh! Oh no!
Togwaggle.
Wow!
Togwaggle. Oh, it's the Togwaggle Explore and Goro combo.
Oh no!
He has Skulking Geist in hand. If he plays this ransom, he is going to lose his deck.
Oh, fantastic! What a way to switch this up, Isaac. Really, yeah, I'm very much a fan of this deck. This deck is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Let's see this Geist come down and let's just have some fun. Dead Man's Hand first, of
Yep,
course.
name the Geist, and
I'm out of cards.
there
And that
goes
is
Toxic
it.
Money's deck.
Yeah, that Artificer now is just a minion on the board. That is not going to send any spells out.
But
I mean, does still have the ability for lots of health gain and lots of armor gain now with the Arcane Elemental. For 1 mana, when you cast a spell, you gain armor equal to its mana cost. Would have been quite nice during that turn just to get an extra 7, but Toxic, probably fairly confident that they can freeze this one out quite literally, even with the brawl coming down.
okay, so he's got Brawl, probably the Fade Light Oracles as well. Not going to play it this time.
I expect so. Yeah, Toxic, you can cycle that water elemental quite nicely just to get it back up to full health.
Yeah. And just put out another minion that Wizard Dynamis is going to have to deal with.
I tried this.
Because after a few turns, the damage these minions deal is going to pile up.
Absolutely. I mean, ISO now, really their strategy is trying to keep this board clear. Also with Razor in hand, so it was only one played earlier. Again, this fatigue is going to start ramping up fairly quickly over what you can do with one water elemental. So as long as ISO keeps the board clear, keeps that armor gain going, they should, in theory, have this game wrapped up.
But he does have to kill this water elemental somehow and start getting attacks in. Okay.
Well, that's one way of doing it.
Certainly
Absolutely. Toxic has just the one minion in hand. Also, if you're playing a fatigue game, Ice Block does not proc if you take the damage in your turn. So once we get to that magical time when fatigue will kill Toxic, that Ice Block is not going to do anything. So really, ISO can just sit there and armor up and just play the waiting game now.
And well, yeah, Toxic Money, he can deal with this. But all he has is one Meteor.
Yeah, there's not really much he can do. Really, you can play the Artificer and just get some more armor. Maybe you'll last a turn or two more, but really, what are you going to do to finish off the warrior?
Well, we'll
There's
probably see
not
another
much.
shuffle here.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense to trade this Geist in. Throw in your last attack with the weapon, kill both minions. Your opponent can't make any more unless he has a way to deal with. Okay.
Another reckless warrior.
He's just going to keep the weapon equipped. And shuffle as well? No, he's not going to keep the weapon equipped. But there's not much here. Yeah, game's over.
Would have been 2 more turns, that was 7. All in all, really nice play there from ISO, completely throwing us for a loop with the King Togwoggle play, going into the Explorer on Goro and the Geist. That was very, very well played, very well done. And that is 2-0, isn't it? I believe. Toxic lost both. Yeah, fantastic game
2-0 to
there.
Isodynamis.
Great series. They're
Yep.
moving off into the semi-finals. They will be playing the winner of our next match, which is going to be Dogmeat versus It's Tosney.
Yeah, and we're just going to take another quick break here and we'll be back with another game very shortly. See you soon.
See you soon.
And here we go. It's our next game of Hearthstone. We have here, it's Tosney versus Dogmeat. And let's see both sets of cards.
Yeah, we can spectate both, so no Togwoggle surprises this time. But Tosney coming straight out, we have a Quest Warrior. Haven't seen one of them in a while.
And it's definitely not been too long since I've seen the last Spiteful Priest.
It's never too long since you've seen the last Spiteful Priest. That's not one of my favorite priest decks. I kind of prefer the combo. There's a lot more you can really do with that deck. Though Spiteful, it is very, very strong in and of itself. Tosney's just having a think here. Do they want to coin out the Tar Creeper, or do they want to get rid of this minion here with a slam? Personally, I'd like to slam straight away. With Spiteful Priest, if the board gets overrun, it can be very difficult to stop it, especially if those cards have been buffed as well.
Yeah. Not too sure what's happening here.
It seems to be a little bit of a spectator bug by the looks of things. Double check that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way Tosney's hovering the cards there looks like they have played the coin. We'll just restart the spectate for you guys and see what has actually happened here.
Hopefully not too common an occurrence.
Oh, hopefully not. I mean, I leave that to you. You're the tech guy out of the two of us. I'm just sitting here, and there's been some shenanigans while we've been gone. Looks like Dogmeat has got a pretty solid board there with the two Sethic minions.
Okay,
One
and
of my favourite races in WoW, they're the Sethic. I love them. I've got the little toy where you can change into one. I like using that a lot, especially in raids, just to annoy people with the squawking.
brilliant. And we can see that the armor smith here is being silenced. He clearly thinks that's gonna gain its Tosney a lot of armor.
Yeah, very much so, especially with tall minions out. You can gain a fair bit of armor using that. It's been so long since I've seen this Quest Warrior. Just wondering if they are really going to lose that much next expansion. It's always been one of them decks where it can be quite hit or miss. You've just got to make sure that you draw right.
Yeah, well, I guess one of the cards most of the controlling warrior decks are going to lose is Sleep with the Fishes.
Very good clear, though it does require some kind of setup beforehand, I guess. It's not like a brawl where you can just jam it.
Yep, Nether Spout Historian here activated by the draw of Twilight Drake, and yeah, Dracnet Operative. Would have loved to seen Temporis there, but it makes sense not to pick it sometimes.
Absolutely, and likewise with the Duskbreaker, there's not too much you're going to clear up out of the Quest Warrior. You're mainly going to kill your own minions there, so it's not worth the pickup. Much better to go and steal something of theirs instead. Especially looking at Dogmeat's hand, they have got two mind controls right in that hand. So that Archivist and the Spitefuls, they aren't going to do too much, especially with the release from Amber.
Yeah, well, if the next free from Amber's picked up within the next couple of turns, I'm wondering, would he just throw out the Grand Archivist here just to get it before it's drawn? And okay, well, he can pick the Grand Archivist here and do exactly that.
He can do if he wants, or he can go for Gruul just to get that big scaling minion up, just punch straight through them taunt walls that are going to be coming down. Or maybe Boogie Monster could be a very good play, especially with the +2/+2, and you can heal it.
Well, what did he go for? He went for the Grand Archivist, and he's going to cast 100% free from Amber.
Yeah, and let's see what minion comes out from it.
Yeah, Molten Giant, that's a big body, but we do see the brawl in the hand.
Yeah, this could very nicely clear up the entire board, ready for its Tosney to
And
throw down maybe a Lich King next
oh,
turn.
it's the worst one.
Worst or best, there's never really much middle ground when it comes to a brawl. You've just got to cross them fingers and hope that you get the high roll on it. Unfortunately, Dogmeat gets the high roll this time.
Yeah, and if he throws down the Lich King next turn to try and soak
Ooh.
up some damage, it's only going to be met by a mind control here. Things getting worse and worse for its Tosney at this point.
Yeah. What would you have thought to maybe picking the Woe Cleaver there from the Draconid Operative? Would that be worth it? Oh, Gastropod straight away pick. That's a very, very nice little minion that came out there with Ungoro.
Yeah, I guess it depends what minions Dogmeat is actually playing. I mean, if he has the Lich King in his own deck, maybe it would have made sense.
As we see now, its Tosney is only one more minion away from getting that quest completed.
Yeah.
Really, Lich King, that'd be fine. You've got to really have something to clear up this board now. Potentially, you could play the Drake, just clear off at least the Draconid Operative.
Yeah, but he will be scared of a mind control coming down.
Yeah.
He'll know this is a spiteful priest, and that'll be in his deck. So,
Yeah. One of the things they can hope is that Dogmeat just draws both Spiteful Summons for the next couple of turns and stalls out that hand a little bit longer.
yeah,
We shall see.
he does have the Ravaging Ghoul in hand. So if he had managed to pick up a Sleep with the Fishes there, he would have cleared up a lot of the board.
Indeed,
Would have
would
kept him
been
alive
just
for
the
another
giant
turn.
I mean, at the moment, you could go for the Armor Smith and the Ravaging Ghoul or the Drake just to gain a little bit of extra armor. And just put another taunt down, get that quest completed. Just going for the Primordial Drake at first to start with, then maybe an armor up as well.
Yeah. But he is still just dead on board after this mind control comes down, which I fully expected to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mind Control, that's one card that's not going away unless it goes into the Hall of Fame. Probably not going to, it's fairly niche card, but so powerful. Leading to Dogmeat going up 1-0 in this series. We're going to get straight into the next match and see if Tosney can pull this back.
Yeah, we just have to see if he decides to stay with the Taunt Warrior or opt for something else instead.
Yeah. I mean, personally, with the best of three format, there's not much difference with it being closed decks as well. You don't know if you can counter queue. That's really more for if you were, say, playing Last Hero Standing.
Yeah.
You could really go into that. Looks like Tosney is bringing out their own Spiteful Priest to try and piggyback on the success of the last one.
Yeah, and we see the Token Evolve Shaman here from Dogmeat. He's going to make some Jade Idols. He's going to throw out a Doppelgangster and make 3 6-mana minions for 6 mana.
Very nasty board state. Doppelgangster, again, another card that will be disappearing. But fortunately, Chain are getting some powerful cards, including the only hero card that is coming out in Witchwood, which is Hagatha, which will lead to lots of random spell shenanigans, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that one pans out. Control Shaman, will it be a thing? They're going to have a lot of random card generation.
Very good hero power whenever you play a minion, add a random shaman spell to your hand.
Yeah.
Even if you were to, say, put it in a token deck, that could work out quite nicely.
Going to be a lot of value.
Yeah.
Okay, so he picks the Deathwing here. I guess it's
So go big or go home, really, with the
it's,
Deathwing.
You know, if he can't get the board back, Dogmeat has a lot of big minions down. He can just throw down the Deathwing and No, hope there's no hex in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, clear out a very big evolve board. If the doppelgangsters and the evolve come out late, or if there's thrall shenanigans later on in the match, then Deathwing can really reset nicely, especially if it's Tosney's able to clear out their hand. Though we do see they do have two mind controls again, so only the free from ambers for the spiteful summoners and the artificers when they appear.
Yeah, and we do see a good roll for the taunt totem here by Dogmeat. It just means that this Firefly on the far left is going to stay alive for another turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And Twilight Drake, solid card to stick down there. You can wait a couple of turns to use another Spite Historian to find something that will do better. Really, the best you're going to hope for is if you play at turn 6 with Duskbreaker.
Now, he has a couple of options here. He can throw out a Chain Gang, he can potentially Jade Lightning and trade into the Tar Creeper, or he can coin out Thrall. Get some bigger minions.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's going to go for.
No, there's a lot of. It's quite a tricky turn, really. It's just going for whatever you think's best play. I mean, you could go for the totem roll, although see what these evolves are.
Does he high roll? Does he low roll? Well, that's a 5/6, but it does give your opponent 2 coins.
Yeah, which with priest you don't really want because there'll be some nasty shenanigans. There's not really much silenceable on the board. You'd want to really, you really want to save that in case a very nasty evolve comes out of that thrall death bringer power.
Yeah.
I'm saying words now. That's
Well,
nothing to do with Hearthstone in any way. The hero power, rather. They could call it a Deathbringer hero. No, just stop, Brim.
it's fine.
Let's stop that.
It's fine.
Let's stop that right there. It's just turning into nonsense now.
Little surprised we didn't see the Draconic Operative come down. Just he opted for the heal instead, but
Yeah.
this Jade Lightning was always just going to kill the Twilight Drake, whether it's a 4 or 2 health. And he can.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know if the Jade Lightnings are there or not. It is safer to use the Draconid Operative, but Tosney seems to have a playstyle ready to go, and we'll just see how it goes for them.
It looked like he's thinking about the Maelstrom portal. Yeah, I think I like just seeing the Jade Lightning come down the Twilight Drake.
Yeah. I mean, with the Maelstrom portals, there's not really much you're going to kill, so maybe you can just use it to get the extra body on board for the evolve.
Yep. And that was a devolve.
Oh, that was not very nice at all. And Buzzard, one of those really, really old hunter cards that used to be very powerful until it got nerfed, and really just hasn't been seen much outside of evolves and RNG.
Yeah, and we do see the Draconid come down here now, and was it the Evolve or the Unstable? He picked the Evolve.
No. Yeah, the vanilla evolve, and not the unstable evolution, which that can go crazy. If it goes off enough, I'm sure we've all seen it on Trollden's channel.
Definitely.
Plenty of them evolve plays.
And I fully expect this Starving Buzzard to change into something bigger. And Cabal Crystal Runners.
Not too bad.
It's not the best 6-mana minion, but it's definitely not the worst.
It's not a 3/2 Buzzard.
Twilight Drake and the Shadow Ascendant here. He's just going to make a big as board as he can.
Absolutely. And Dogmeat pulls out the Devolve there, just in case anything nasty comes out. Not really going to do much if that Deathwing hits the board, because it's only going to turn into a 9-mana minion.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to draw a Hex before it comes down.
Absolutely, and that's if the deck has Hex in it. fully expect maybe the Manatide Totem to come out now just for the extra draw, trying to get to some of those cards like the Hex and the additional Evolve to pair with that Doppelgangster.
And the Curator comes down.
Yeah. Bigger board there. If Evolve gets drawn, then it's going to be very nice and probably hit quite a few decent minions, hopefully, if a dog meet. But at the minute, they're in a very good position here. Still a couple of turns away from any mind control shenanigans.
And we see the Doppelgangster. Now, he has already picked the Evolve. Yep, and he goes for it. He's
Yep,
going to say,
why not?
Shaman, you think you're going to be the one to Doppelgangster involved, but it's going to be me first. Yeah, he's just
playing
going
out
to trade
very
off one of these minions. Dogmeat the last turn could have used his second Jade Lightning and gotten rid of this Twilight Drake. I'm not sure if it would have been the right play, but we see an unstable evolution picked up here.
Yeah, this can lead to some shenanigans, especially if you manage to evolve into, say, like Gromash or the Charged Devil Saw. There's a lot of damage going directly to face, and then you can evolve it again. Just see what comes out. If he was to go for it, he'd be able to get 4 evolves off.
Yeah, well, it depends on what he wants to trade in first. He can kill both the Twilight Drake and the Draconid Operative.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to go for the Maelstrom Portal.
Maelstrom.
Okay.
That's a very nice play.
Full board clear. If he wants it.
Yeah, I don't really need to. You
Nope.
can always stick with that one Draconid Operative there. You've got fairly solid board yourself. There's no reason to push your luck,
And
especially when you get Tyrion.
Tyrion Fordring is a perfect 8 drop, I would say. But
Absolutely.
it's going to get silenced.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Still a 6/6 that can't be touched. Well, can be touched now that Dustbreaker's come down. And that's a full clear there from its Destiny. Very back and forth match right now.
But I like the Doppelgangster unstable evolution here. He can get... Okay.
So nice. It's filling up the board ready for to protect this Manatide Totem here. You know that there's most likely not another silence, and I don't think their minions are going to get through. Especially with the Earth Elemental and Evolve picked up from the Manatide Totem.
But the mind control here is going to...
Yeah, that's
take
going to
that
hurt.
Big Earth Elemental away from Dogmeat.
So Dogmeat now wants to build up as big a board as possible. The Devolve, yeah, very solid to get rid. And Sherazin probably the nastiest minion there, though. Looks like Priest isn't going to be able to play the 4 cards to resummon it after it dies. Here we go with the Evolve.
And what do we get?
Uh,
4 mana, 7/7.
Always.
Baron
Always.
Geddon.
Oh, Geddon. Not too shabby. I mean, Geddon, that can be dealt with fairly easily.
Well, yeah, it does mean that these minions, which weren't tradable before, he can now kill 2 of them, and I wonder will he mind control again as well, and then kill. Yep, full board clear,
Yeah.
and you have the 7/5.
Very well spotted. Yeah, perfect answer there.
Very nice play. And next turn he has the Doppelgangster Evolve to fill up his board and get rid of the Baron Geddon as well.
Yeah, could be the turning point here in the match. Destany's been on the lower health end of things for most of the game, though, being able to chip away here and there at Dogmeat. So looks like if they can get this Geddon to stick and a good evolve from the Doppelgangster, we should be all right.
He's going to need something special from this unstable evolution.
Absolutely.
He's going to keep going here.
And another one.
Temporis, isn't it? Well, there's King Togwaggle once more on our
Yeah.
screens, and okay, he's
Not
going
doing
to
his
stick with the giant mastodon.
yeah, fairly solid. Though that Firefly is going to be dead fairly quickly, with if Gaddin sticks around. Most likely not, because we're probably going to get an evolution coming in here with the Doppelgangster.
Well, it's Tosney doesn't realize it, but he has to kill um this giant mastodon. Okay, if he trades into it, Void Ripper won't be able to give him lethal on board, but if he doesn't trade into this giant mastodon, the Void Ripper will make it a 10-6 and a 2-1, just 12 damage, if he evolves the Baron Geddon.
We'll just have to wait and see. There is only enough mana left to do the Doppelgangster Evolve or Drachnid Operative. Any of the 5 cost cards there and the Evolve. Personally, I'd hit the switch and go for the Doppelgangster.
And he needs Taunt.
Big taunt.
And he gets one which will keep him alive
Indeed.
for one more turn. And it's potentially swung it back into its Tosney's favour.
Yeah, you got the Scaled Nightmare. That's going to be a 4-8 at the start of its Tosney's next turn. So that'll be 9, 12, 20 damage on board with the other minions. So potentially swinging it straight back for almost lethal. Now, do you want to play the Void Ripper?
I don't think you do. I think you want to get your taunts on the board, probably evolve the Firefly.
Yeah. Trade off the Mammoth into the other taunt, the Gladiator.
Yep. But it's Tosney will be able to get through these 2 taunts and connect face with Anomalous on the next turn.
Absolutely. I mean, even if things go nuts, there's still that Deathwing in hand that was picked up at the very start of the match, just to reset completely. We know that there's no Hex in hand unless Dogmeat draws it. There's just that Void Ripper that was picked up from the Cabal Trafficker, I believe it was.
And I think that was the wrong trade to make. I don't think killing Nat Pagel is the way you're going to win this game. He's going to go for the Spiteful Summoner in this turn.
Yeah, you also want to get that Anomalous healed up sharpish, because otherwise you're going to lose that entire board.
Yeah, and he has to heal it now. If he heals his face, this board's just going to be completely wiped, and that, I think, is a grave error on its Tosney's. And I'm not...
No, did Dogmeat not see it? I don't think Dogmeat saw it. Going in and playing the Void Ripper, and they've just realised there.
I think he's realised his mistake.
A grave mistake indeed right there. Could have easily cleared the board off and started refilling again with the totem. But that looks like it is
going to be lethal, because he swapped the health.
Yeah, the Scaled Nightmare at the start of every one of your turns, it doubles its health. If it sticks around a bit, or gets its health swapped. Sorry, attack. That's right. It was health. It used to be health. But that is game. And it's Tosney brings that 2-1 apiece there. Both Spiteful Priests getting it done. So down to game 3. And they decided for this to find out who's going through to the semi-finals next.
Yeah, well, an unfortunate play from Dogmeat there just to lose that game. He could have potentially won it back.
Yeah, it's one of them things. It does happen from time to time. I'm more than once I've sat there, played completely wrong with, especially evolve cards. They just, you can't remember every single card and what they do. So you're always going to have that time where you completely mess it up and so they're going, oh, no, no. But just have to pick yourself up and play that next game, really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've all been there before. I remember I was playing in a tournament last year and Druid on 3 health, and I drew Nourish, and I accidentally clicked gain 2 mana crystals with no cards in my hand.
That's, yeah, that's quite a misplay there, Tim. That's something you don't want to do too often, especially when you've got the option to draw there. But like you said, these things do happen. And hopefully we will be getting into the next game.
Yeah, it looks like we're having just a bit of a wait here. So we'll
Just to
come right back when the action start again. See you soon.
see you in a moment, guys.
And as quick as you can say, we're back again.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the Evolved Shaman versus the Quest Warrior. It's 1-1 here, so everything to play for to get into the next round.
Absolutely. And this is a matchup I haven't seen in even longer time than the last time I saw Quest Warrior. Devolves, really, they can do a lot. And looks like Dogmeat's got both of them in the hand. So fairly decent start here. And plenty of time for them to gain control of the board and just steamroll through this warrior, hopefully.
Yep, and Devolve on this Acolyte of Pain, which I think is one of the only real draw engines that Itztosny has, would be very painful, but he's not going to go for it.
Instead, rolls the spell damage totem, so that Maelstrom Portal will be doing 2 damage next turn. Should be able to pretty easily clear off the board there. It's Tosny seeing that Ravaging Ghoul coming out, giving them a hand to get into that 2. Oh, not as it seems.
I probably would have taken the other draw there to guarantee you get 3. Maelstrom Portal, it's going to kill you anyhow.
Yeah,
I guess he just wants to keep this Ravaging Ghoul alive. But we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, if you look at Tosny's hand, though, there is plenty of draw mechanics. Got the slam as well, just to clear off some health and draw a card. Also see the Blood Razor in there, ready to come down and clear off these low health minions, probably next turn, especially if the Primal Fin totem gets played, which it's not. There's a Devolve, which kind of more an Evolve there with the Beetle that's drawn.
But definitely a Devolve on the part of the Ravaging Ghoul.
Absolutely. That go down to a 2 on Murloc, and something that's not Murloc Paladin, not what you want to see.
Okay, double Armorsmith being thrown down here. He's going to start gaining a lot of armor. He's seen one Devolve, so he probably isn't scared of another, but he's potentially going to get the bad news that there is one in Dogmeat's hand.
Yeah, and personally, I jam that Devolve straight down now. You've seen both Armorsmiths. That's not going to get much better at this point in the game, really. And then, what would you follow it up with? Potentially the Primal Fin Totem, or just see what comes out of the Devolve first, I guess.
Yeah, because you could easily Maelstrom Portal off what's left if they're... But again, he's not going for it. And well, Blood Razor's going to gain a lot of armor here.
Indeed, that Blood Razor is very nice. You can clear off both of the Serenite Chain Gang tokens there, and also get rid of the healing totem too, if you so wish, with one of your armor smiths.
Yep. And look at that. All of a sudden, you're on 37 health.
Armor for days. Armor for days. Not as much as in our previous warrior game with the King Togwobble Dead Man's Hand. I think that got up to 50 health, but
Well,
not too shabby there.
that's close enough to 50, I think. The Maelstrom Portal giving him even more than he had before. But his hand at the minute for Istosny, it's a bit lacking. He is going to throw out the Slam here and clear off these 2 minions. Potentially the Ravaging Ghoul to finish off the third, but I think you would keep it just to deal with anything else that comes for your with a Sleep with the Fishes. But he decides to go ahead and throw it down here.
Yeah, why not clear off the board if you can fully? Just take full use of the situation. Although wow, that's a nice interaction. I quite like that. Shame we're missing the evolve there, because that would really be devastating. And to have the 5 doppelgangsters evolve rather than just the normal 3.
Yeah, but Istosny doesn't have a way to kill more than one of these doppelgangsters. And if it evolve or Thrall the Deathseer is picked up in the next turn, Istosny has nothing to deal with that. So this game could swing very hard, very quickly, if Dogmeat manages to pick up the right cards.
Indeed. And we'll find out soon enough with that. At the minute, it's Dosny just pondering which of these taunt minions they'd like. Personally, I'd maybe like the Direhorn or the Psychotron over the Grizzly. The Direhorn, you can get a lot more done with it with potentially extra health from the dash. Although preferring to go for the lower mana minion and just playing it straight out, getting one step closer to that quest completion that's so important for Quest Warrior.
Well, on his turn 7, he had only played 2 taunt minions so far, so he really had to get that going. So here, he can throw out the Flame Tongue Totem. Yeah, and start trading these away favourably. Jade Claws will take away the Ravaging Ghoul.
Still got a fairly solid board state there, ready to go and just keep hoping that.
Yep, and he's going to hope for a high roll, maybe. Taunt Totem. Not quite.
It's still a body ready to be evolved when it's drawn or Thrall's drawn.
And, well, as I said earlier, he could have kept the Ravaging Ghoul to keep with the Sleep with the Fishes, which he does now pick up. Although he will be able to trade 2 of these doppelgangsters in
And
to kill this Lich King.
Death Coil coming out of Lich King. Ideally, Death and Decay would have been the perfect draw, doing 3 damage to all enemies. They would have really nicely cleared the board, but sadly, it's the deal 5 damage or heal 5 to a friendly target.
Yeah, and Slam is going to have to find some sort of AoE here for Istosny.
Might as well slam the thing from below just in case nothing comes, and you can always Sleep with the Fishes, get rid of the 7 minion.
It's a tough turn because he does want to keep some cards to be able to AoE. If he throws out the Fishes now, he won't be able to kill the rest of the board at a later stage if he's able to. Yeah, I think Direhorn Hatchling into maybe Executor Death Coil is fine.
Yeah, that's a solid turn, considering there is unstable evolution is picked up. So shenanigans can ensue. The Devolve can clear out that taunt, allowing Dogmeat to go straight to the face if they wish.
Yeah, well, that's the card he's been hoping to see for some time now. He's had these doppelgangsters since turn 7 and hasn't had anything to do with them, but now he can, start making them into 8, 9, 10 mana minions, whatever he feels like, really.
Absolutely.
He's gonna trade one in, just to clear this minion off the board. He's gonna keep the devolve for something else.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can just clear, you might as well, especially with the unstable evolutions coming out, though.
Yep,
Dogmeat's going to have to do this quick
yep.
if they decide to keep on evolving, because that rope is ticking down and burning. There's some very low mana minions there that you want to get higher.
Oh, don't want Sergeant Sally.
Oh no.
Okay, hero untargetable. Doesn't really help in this matchup. And yep, Dogmeat's just ran out of time there, which is unfortunate for him because he could have gotten some very, very much better minions than these.
Yeah. So really, it's not too bad of a position, as you've seen that it's Destiny has no AoE. If there was AoE, it would have been played the last couple of minutes easily. Not much
Yeah, I think
that can
a
be
battle
done.
rage here is probably going to be his one out to really be able to clear with this board if he can get some more AoE off it. But
Have to wait and see. There's also the Sleep with the Fishes that you can use to clear off the Cabal Trafficker if need be.
yeah, you do have the second in the hand, and that's his last execute gone now.
Yeah, that's painful, to say the least. But really, there's 10 damage on board. The Lucari Valhound, not really the biggest fan. Not the best demon that could have been pulled. And for certain, what you really would have been hoping for would have been one of the Void Lords. Absolutely ridiculous card. Very, very powerful at the moment.
Yeah, a bit of a placement error there from Dogmeat. He probably should have played the Hearthstone Tournament on the far left, just so you get minions on either side.
Yeah. And that's the 5th taunt minion played now. Tosney hopefully will be wanting that to stick around so they can get at least another card drawn off the Battle Rage. And more than likely, that's not the case with Jade Lightning lining up for a perfect 5 damage. And this looks like it could very well be the final nail in the coffin here for its Tosney.
Well, it's Tosney had one turn to draw some sort of answer to this board, and so far he hasn't got that. Because the devolve on this Ally Armorsmith is potentially just going to allow Dogmeat to win the game.
Yeah, Dogmeat's got more than enough damage with those minions on the board. Just counting up there, just double checking to make sure that there is.
And
more
that's
than
not a taunt. And Dogmeat is going to win this game and go through to the next round.
2-1. Fantastic series. Very well done to both players. Spiteful Priest showing that it's got some lags there in that series with both players' decks picking it up. We will be back very shortly for our first semi-final match. So we'll see you guys soon. And welcome back, guys, to the semi-final portion of Eden Esports Bar's Hearthstone Tournament. Our first semi-final is Cheggington versus 200 Midgets, who you might remember from our very first match of the day. Over to you, Tim. What decks have we got here?
Well, here we have Spiteful Priest versus a Secret Hunter. We see the Secret Keeper kept by Chaggington there in the mulligan.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't have any secrets, so he may not want to play it down before that.
No, you can always coin it out with that cat trick next turn.
Yep.
Though cat trick probably not going to be triggered for a while against Spiteful Priest, as they only really won 2 spells.
4 in total. But
Well, two ofs, really. Unless if there was the coin, maybe that, but unfortunately, Cheggington's just played it themselves.
yeah. Well, Midgets won't know what secret he's played, so he's going to have to try and play around some. He knows it's not Snipe.
Nope. Still could be Freezing Trap, Wandering Monster, or Explosive Trap even.
Yeah.
Probably find out next turn quite easily. Really, what would you like to play here as Cheggington? Maybe the Alley Cat Hero Power ready for the Hellmaster, or you can just throw down the bow and go face.
Yeah, either's okay, I think. He knows it is Spiteful Priest, so there is going to be a Duskbreaker in the deck, so...
Yeah, there's always the chance that gets played on 4. Sadly, that wouldn't be the case as there are no other dragon in a 200 Midget's hand. Nothing even to put the Netherspite Historian into play properly with the battle cry there, so just a bit of clearing off the Secret Keeper there before it gets too big.
And here, again, Chaggington has another decision to make. He's going to go with buffing the minion and take out that Cleric. No more card draw this turn.
Though, if he waits another 5 turns, there is the Mind Control in hand there from 200 Midgets to proc the Cat Trick, so the Cat in the Hat can come out and play. Still a while to wait for that, though.
Yeah, next turn we are going to see a Spiteful Summoner come down. So Chaggington is... Well, he's going to have a lot of work to do to kill such a big minion. This Ooze, is he going to play it? He knows that this Hunter will run weapons. Most run Eagle Hornbow and Candle Shot. And yeah, he's going to get the bad news that there was a weapon in hand.
Yeah. I mean, there were 2 weapons in hand, so really it wouldn't have been as much of a loss if Cheggington had lost the first one to the Ooze. But nothing gained, nothing really. Just clearing up the board there, and we'll see what the Summoner brings out.
And an Anomalous, which is clearable with a kill command and trading in the one remaining cat.
Yeah, you're not losing anything from your side of the board, and you can always play the Tundra Rhino if you wish after clearing off the Anomalous.
Yeah.
So, got to remember, order, if you're using the kill command, you don't want to be running that Alley Cat in first, because otherwise you're going to leave it alive.
And let's see what he goes for.
Going for a bit more of an aggressive play there, going for the face. There's going to be guaranteed damage going face next turn. You've got the steady shot from the hero power, the explosive trap damage. You've got 6 damage from the weapon, and also you've got the Tundra Rhino and kill command ready for turn 8, which could be enough to push Cheggington over the edge into lethal.
Yeah. But Midgets has the board currently. And the Huffer picked up here is just fantastic.
Always Huffer. And is that lethal?
That is lethal, yes it is.
That is.
And
there we go.
just as we were saying that... Oh no.
Oh. No, we miscounted.
Yeah, I
Miscounted that
thought he had
mana.
already played when I saw what money he had left. But
But
you're selling them to 2.
I mean, really, you can't even play the Bone Steed here, the Bone Mare, because you can't heal.
No, oh, and
But I don't know
oh,
if
that is
midgets saw
lethal.
that. Oh, they saw that they had lethal with the Bone Mare.
Worst
Absolutely,
casters EU.
indeed. Probably not too bad NA then, if we're worst EU. And that is 102 midgets there. Fairly quick first game, which means midgets will be on to their second deck, which I believe was Mage.
Yep, and we are still to discover what Checkington second deck is. If he changes, guess we'll find out soon.
The players just getting loaded in now for this second game of the first semi-finals here. See if midgets can make their second 2-0 victory tonight and get straight through into the finals with their secret secret mage.
Yep, and Checkington staying with the same deck. I would have to say the mage is probably favoured in this one again.
Yeah, you can very easily clear off the small minions that Checkington's going to be putting out early on in the game. You've probably got an equal footing with the hero powers. If you can counter spell, maybe kill command, that's always going to go in your favour. At the minute, just got to play it out. And a Luneth there in the hand, fantastic for refill and just getting them big spells into your hand just to throw straight into your opponent's face. It's always a thing to do.
And he's coining the hero power here. I'm not sure I like this. Now you can't throw out the Karen Tor mage on turn 2.
No, but you can always spend your second turn pinging off the remaining cat and always just play the Kirintor Mage on turn 3 as is. You're not really having to pressure the board as much early. Board presence isn't as like much of a win condition for the Secret Mage. Usually it's the spells, the fireballs and the frostbolts that will get you over there in the end.
Yeah, but this Houndmaster is going to come down and buff this Leok, and well, I'd say probably go face. You're a hunter.
Looks like Polymorph will be a fairly quick pick here for midgets, especially seeing as they've just drawn the second one. That deals with that Leok very nicely there. Probably, I would trade into it as the sheep does count as a beast, therefore will kill command.
He's going to have to throw down the Tundra Rhino if he wants to kill this turn, but no secrets in hand. This isn't going to get him any value.
No, but Cloaked Huntress, it's still contests the board here, still kills off the Kirintor Mage, and really there's not much that you could do with the Tundra Rhino because it would just get pinged off anyway. You wouldn't get anything from the bonus effect.
Okay, now we see the Deathstalker Rexar come down. Checkington isn't going to be able to fire 2 damage at the face every turn, but he is going to be able to start creating some rather large minions very quickly. We see the Alaneth played here, so Midgets is going to draw his deck very, very quickly. And
there's a Togwoggle in this deck as well. It's a Togwoggle Knight, it seems, here. Not entirely sure what it's doing in this Secret Mage deck, but maybe Midgets has got a good strategy with it. Especially with a Luneth, you can burn through your deck fairly quickly, so it could very well be quite safe to just, once you've cleared your deck out, switch to your opponent's deck and get a load of cards out of that with a Luneth as well. It could work.
yeah, but it's probably not going to come to that because Midgets here has 2 Cabal Crystal Runners, 2 mana each, and the Mana Worm in play. And
Yep, and that Pyroblast is in hand, ready to go on turn 10. Just needs to get another 20 damage off Cheggington in the meantime, which easily done.
And we'll probably see the Firelands portal come down the next turn from Midgets, just to clear off his opponent's side of the board. It's quick, it's clean, and then he can start going face again.
Yeah, or you could always throw the Firelands portal to face and just use one of the Quell Crystal runners instead. You know that Hunter really, unless one of these zombies has lifesteal, they don't run any healing. So there's a lot of damage permanence, especially with the explosive runes coming down as well.
Yeah.
I think so. There's all explosive runes doesn't trigger off the cat trick as well.
And
Because
this is
that
an
minion isn't played.
8 health minion that he's picked from the Zombeast. So it will survive if he plays it.
Look at these Luneth draws. Sorcerer's Apprentice, Fireball, and both in hand. That's at least another 6 damage going to face next turn. That's going to put Cheggington down to 14, down to 10 even with the Kirintor Mage there. So that is lethal next turn. All set up, ready to go.
Yep. Well, Mana Worm, Sorcerer's Apprentice, double Fireball. This turn feels pretty good.
It's nothing to be sniffed at. I think Midget's got to be fairly confident here that they've got this in the bag now. And a Medivh's Valet to top it all off. Another one, just in case any more damage was needed from this mage.
Yeah, but Cheggington's going to have to heal for a substantial amount. And he just can't do it.
No.
So this game is going to be over, and we're going to see Midgets go through to the final.
Fantastically played. Again, another 2-0 win. The Secret Mage doing exactly what it was designed to do there, keeping the board nice and controlled and just throwing those spells one after each other to face. Fantastic game.
Yeah, Midgets played it very well in both games there. He's got a very good chance of going through and winning this tournament completely.
Yeah, indeed. We're just going to take a short break now while we wait for our next semi-final match to get up and running, which will be between Isodynamis and Dogmeat.
See you soon. Hello and welcome back. We're here in the second semi-final of the Eden Esports Hearthstone Tournament. We have Isodynamis against Dogmeat, and both of these players have been very strong competitors. We have seen Isodynamis with his Togwaggle Warrior being able to take out the big spell mage, and um, Dogmeat as well with this Shaman has been getting work done. We see Isodynamis here starting off with his Spell Hunter. Brim, what do you think this matchup's like?
It's quite hard to tell, really. It's not something that we see too much. Shaman really is, especially Evolved Shaman, has been a deck that's kind of fallen out of favor in most tournaments. It can be very, very strong, especially if you're playing against a opponent who isn't playing many minions. You can flood that board, and Spellhunter doesn't have that much AoE clear. So if you can just run over everything, then you should be in a pretty good situation. However, Isodynamis has got plenty of single target removal. Here we see there's the 2 flanking strikes and the kill command just used. So if they can keep hold of this board, especially with the Unleash the Hounds, it should be in a pretty decent spot for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and we see the Spellstone pick up there, immediately buffed with his copy of Snipe in the hand. So we're going to see a lot of wolves come down quite soon.
Yeah.
And with this Snipe, Unleash the Hounds is a very good way of clearing up this board if he wants to use it.
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty safe clear there. You're taking out the big thing from below, one of the only taunt minions in Dogmeat's deck, aside from any evolve shenanigans. So fairly solid turn there, ready to maybe even go to the Spellstone next turn or a flanking strike, whatever comes down, or probably Deadly Shot.
Yeah, well, either Deadly Shot or Flanking Strike Arcane Shot clears it off the board.
You can play that second snipe as well next turn and get the Spellstone fully buffed.
Yep. But Doppelgangster Evolve on turn 6 is a pretty strong turn. And Aya in a Jade deck, well, that's pretty good.
Bit of Jade generation there, that's always nice to see. ISO decides to play the Wandering Monster. They probably just wondering now, do they want to jam this Spellstone down? More than likely, yeah. That's a 4/3/3 Wolves for 5 mana. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's a good way to start trying to get back onto this board against the Shaman.
I mean, Dogmeat does also have the Thrall Deathseeker in hand as well. Double Maelstrom Portal clears them wolves off very nicely.
Yeah, that was a very good roll on the spell power totem there.
Sending the Jade Golem in correctly there, just to check the Wandering Monster. And we can finish off the Void Ripper there. Not getting to play as Battle Cry against with Dogmeat this time.
And Isodynamis has to come back here somehow. And this wolf can just get traded away immediately.
Exactly. It's like I said at the start of the match, there's not that much AoE clear. Dogmeat's been able to get several minions stuck onto the board, and Isodynamis has just not been able to clear.
And here we're going to see Coin into Thrall Deathseer and
Hopefully
any charge minions. Does anything turn green?
Usually, if I evolve or do anything RNG, I kind of look at my end turn button, see if it goes green. If it is, I know that I don't really have to pay as much attention.
And that is a big board. He's going to need these deadly shots to hit.
Yeah, I hope.
And
you would have liked the 7/9s to go down though. Throttling Berserker isn't too bad. That's something you can live with, really.
And Manatide Totem's going to get taken out by the Snipe here. Now,
I wouldn't say that's too much of an issue. There is a second Manatide Totem, and really looking at the board, you're hoping that Isodynamis isn't going to be alive for that much longer.
Just missing out a couple of damage this turn by throwing the Twilight Drake in first, but it does buff its health, so it's not going to be the worst thing in the world to happen. He didn't have lethal this turn anyhow.
Yeah, it's just swings and roundabouts, and you get to buff the minion a little bit. Really, the only minion there that would keep ISO alive, so slightly high roll in there with that. Although Doppelgangster Evolve Part 2 coming right up now.
Yeah, man, he's definitely going to hope to get something off this. He does have the Evolve and the Unstable Evolution to try and get a charge minion. None so far.
No. Let's see if we can keep going. We've got 4 more chances
No,
to
he's
get
just
a
going to say,
charge.
you're on 1 health and I have a full board.
Yeah. That's Dogmeat taking game number 1 here in the second semi-final. 1 more win, and that is finals for Dogmeat. So, what was Dogmeat's second deck that he used? It was Priest, I believe, wasn't it? The Spiteful.
Spiteful Priest, I believe.
Yeah, lots of Spiteful Priests tonight, I've noticed. Seems to be very favoured in this tournament. And you can see why. It's done some work and won a lot of matches.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have the things that decks like Combo Priest have, but what it does have is Spiteful Summoner. And when you throw it out on turn 6 and get either an 8 or a 10 mana minion, it's really up to your opponent to be able to deal with that. And if they can't, it puts you in a very strong position to go ahead and win that game.
Absolutely. ISO here has shifted deck over to the infamous Tog Woggle Dead Man's Hand Warrior. A deck that kind of caught us for a loop last time, I've got to say, Tim.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
Very, very excited to see King Togwaggle, followed by Exploring Goro, and then Skulking Geist on the next turn. But we do see here Dogmeat on the Q block, which must have been banned in his last game.
Yeah, and as I said right at the beginning of this tournament, this is one of my favourite decks. I absolutely adore Q block. I think just within this matter, it's been really defining compared to, say, Murloc Paladin. It's just a deck that can shut down the hyper aggressiveness that we've been seeing since the last expansion came out. Takes it, shuts it down, fills the board with Void Lords, and really there's not much that can be done against it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an uphill struggle for Izzodynamics this game. Just because of what the Q block can do. This Possessed Lackey is going to come down on turn 5. It's going to either pull the Void Lord. What's he picked up? Faceless. It's going to pick up the Void Lord or the Doom Guard. If he managed to draw a cube before that as well, and the Dark Pact, it can just start throwing out so many minions in quick succession, and really this warrior deck is going to have a struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. However, ISO has drawn one of the cards that can help in this matchup, namely the Brawl. Very easy way to clear off a big board full of Void Lords. Yeah, you've got to deal with the Void Walkers rather afterwards, but it's not that big of an issue, especially with Sleep with the Fishes and Bloodraiser.
Yeah, and we see here Doomguard picked up, so the percentage is in the favour of Voidlord to be pulled from the Possessed Lackey, but he does have the Skull of the Minari in hand as well here for Dogmeat. So, yeah, if we probably just see the Lackey traded in, you don't really care how much armor your opponent gets because you're going to have a lot of minions come down and go face.
First. Now, really, Dogmeat is going to be hoping that the Dark Pact gets pulled next turn so that he can do the little Q block combo with the cube there onto the Doom Guard that will be pulled by the Skull of the Minari, and that way they can get 3 out. It's pretty nice.
For that reason, I would have liked to seen the Skulking Geist come down. Because that shuts down your 1-turn combo of Doomguard getting pulled out of the hand and you being able to cube and kill the cube in the same turn.
Exactly. This turn, though, really that Defile looks quite tasty. You can clear off both minions. Will that overdraw ISO as well?
We have 8. Yep.
Yep, it would have overdrawn, but really, you don't mind. There's the Faceless Manipulator has created another Doom Guard there, so Dogmeat full handle on this game at the moment. ISO can gain some mana back, some armor rather, and probably I'd have to brawl this, I guess. You can kill the Void Lord with the weapon attack, and then brawl and hope for the best.
Yeah, well, the winner of the brawl is Doomguard.
Ooh. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Though we can see ISO does have the combo in hand now. Just got to wait a couple more turns to be able to use it fully with the Togwoggle, Explore, and Goro, and then the Geist next turn. So really those the Doom Guard and the Void Lord that's left in the deck, and N'Zoth, if it's used, they're all gone.
Yeah, and I know that he's probably thinking, Isodynamos that is, that he has to keep this Skulking Geist for his King Togwaggle, kill your opponent's deck. But if Dogmeat knows that that is what's going to happen, I mean, he can just try and kill him before that even happens.
Absolutely. But really, I can't see the Dark Pact. If it gets drawn, that's going to be fantastic. However, I can see this Togwoggle going off. It's only 2 turns away. ISO should be able to hold out until then at least. They can get a pretty decent clear on the board. Not a full clear, but a lot of it, and gain some well-needed armor as well at the same time.
And the execute picked up does mean he can deal with this Doomguard. And 2 of the Void Callers as well.
Yeah, going for the Sleep with the Fishes there.
Okay, yeah.
Clear off.
It will be a full
everything
board
but
clear
the
if he
Doom
wants to go
Guard.
for it.
Yeah. Also, there ISO does have access to the Shield Slam, which would have been gone if the Spiteful, sorry, if the Geist rather, not Spiteful, this isn't Priest, the Geist had gone off. So really, one more turn to survive, and then we're getting Togwoggle antics. I'm getting excited, Tim. I'm ready for this.
Well, we do see Blood Reaver Gul'dan in the hand of Dogmeat, so
Yeah,
we'll see what's pulled out of this lackey. He definitely wants to get another minion pulled out. And it's another Doomguard.
The Doom Guard. That means if that Doom Guard dies, that's another 4 Doom Guards coming out potentially. There's 3 dead already. We will see what comes out.
And
not the best shield.
Yeah, Isodynamos can't even play the King Togwaggle combo this turn because if he does, he's just dead.
Yeah, it feels bad. As much as I want to see it go off, I kind of want to see this go to the final game as well.
Yeah.
So ISO is still able to win this. It's just going to be so much more of an uphill struggle now, especially with Blood Reaver Gul'dan in hand, ready to come down next turn. There's 1 minion on board. If 3 Doom Guards out of the 4 get pulled, then we will have a game. Dogmeat's just having a look at his options there, see what he can do.
Yeah,
or if he just wants to go.
I think on turn 10, you have Blood River go down, you're always going to play it and
Yeah.
have a high
Here
chance of
we
winning
go.
this game.
Yeah. 2 Doom Gods
Yeah,
needed.
and there's 3.
Ultimately, well played. Dogmeat takes the series 2-0 straight into the final, which means that our final for today coming up soon will be 200 Midgets versus Dogmeat. Then again, 2 fairly quick games there, Tim.
Yeah, Dogmeat just being able to close it out very convincingly. Leaving the Q block up, probably not the best decision. As much as I love the King Tog Waggle Explorer and Goro combo, you're going to be very, very unfavored against it. But at the end of the day, Dogmeat was able to close out those 2 games very quickly.
Absolutely, and that's why Warlock gets banned so much during tournaments. It's just such a strong deck, and very versatile. Great to see it being used there to its full effect with lots and lots of charge in the face. We are just going to wait now for our finalists to get set up, and we will be right back with you guys. Hello and welcome back to the finals of the Eden Esports Bar Hearthstone Tournament, the 1st of April. There's going to be 2 of these tournaments this month. Next one will be in a couple of weeks, so if you fancy getting in on this Hearthstone action, make sure you get yourself signed up for that, ready to go. In our final, the first match, we've got Dogmeat taking his Spiteful Summoner Priest against 200 Midgets Secret Mage. Tim, both of these players have had a fantastic night. Who do you think is going to edge it?
It's a tough one. I think if, well, in this game, certainly, if the mage can manage to stick minions and get the spells to back it up, it can go fairly one sided. But we do see Dogmeat with the Spiteful Summoner.
Yeah, Spiteful Summoner. There's also the Duskbreaker there with the Cobalt and now the Draconid operative in hand. So there's plenty of dragons to activate that Duskbreaker and sweep this board straight away.
And
Midgets.
no secrets in the hand here for midgets, so yeah, I fully expect a coin Duskbreaker here just to clear off all of these, and yeah.
Really, really strong turn. Then next turn, you can play the Cleric and the Shadow Ascendant, really secure that board state. You don't mind too much if you lose this here, just because your minions have much more sticking power than anything that the mage puts down. Maybe apart from the Cabal Crystal Runner, but that's not too much of an issue, really.
Yep, and he's going to get an Arcane Intellect here as well, which is not really what he needs because he has a lot of cards in hand. Oh,
nope. A bit of a whiff there. Maybe, I mean, sometimes I do on purpose pick the wrong card if I don't really like what's there. If I don't think it's going to help me, then I will leave it be.
Well, I am rather surprised not to see the Arcane Intellect in this mage deck, but it's worked for him so far.
Not.
And now he does get to choose whichever card of these he likes this time.
Yeah. Personally, I quite like the Ice Block just for the extra safety. If Dogmeat's been paying attention, he knows that there's a Togwaggle in this deck. For the shenanigans after Illunath has drawn through the entirety of the deck. So really, if Dogmeat wants to just apply that pressure, either of the other 2 cards is a solid pick.
Yep. And Arcanologist going to pick up a secret here for midgets, and well, the Explosive Runes is going to get rid of the Spiteful Summoner in the next turn, but not what it brings out.
It could bring out something very, very nasty. None of the spells have been drawn for Dogmeat, so we could have our first Mind Control Spiteful, which we will.
And a Tyrantus here would be...
Oof.
No.
Close.
Close.
No. Not quite. The
it is still a 10-10. As I said, that Polymorph picked up here for midgets.
Ooh, that's
clears that
painful.
up perfectly, and he's going to keep pushing more damage to the face here, but he is out of cards. So if Dogmeat here can manage to pick up something through this Draconid operative, he can easily get back into the game.
Oh, absolutely. This board is easily stabilized by Dogmeat. He doesn't even have to play the Draconid at this point in time. He could always play the Cleric and the Ascendant with a heal on the other Draconid just to secure the board presence, but instead he's going to clear off that pesky Sorcerer's Apprentice and just leave the Arcanologist there. And there is an Arcane Intellect. So maybe Dogmeat misclicked, or there was another card as well as the Arcane Intellect available. I'm not entirely sure there what happened with that Glimmer Root earlier.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't even look at the other cards.
Yeah, it could have been a misclick, I think. More than likely, Dogmeat picked the wrong card. Yeah, there goes the counter spell. That'll potentially stop a Pyroblast. Meanwhile, the biggest battle on the field is through the emotes. Here is Dogmeat looks to have stabilized quite nicely in this game here. There's
Yeah.
not too much Midgets can do. Not a secret on the field. Only the one drawn from the Archaeologist this entire game. A bit of a whiff, really.
Yeah, he needs to pick up an Alaneth very, very shortly, and just start drawing his entire deck.
Absolutely, because this is the point now where Dogmeat can play pretty much whatever he wants out of his hand. Uh, Probably, I'd say Ysera is a decent choice here
Yeah,
over
I
the Dustbreaker.
do like the Onyxia though, because this mage deck, it doesn't run AoE, so you get a board full of minions.
True, true. Though, to be fair, and I mean, he's got a fair few minions in
Yeah.
his hand, and if, say, Midgets was to play a particularly nasty minion next turn, there is the mind control there as well. I prefer just to get minions with the higher attack. That way, you can use the Pyroblast to finish off your opponent quite nicely.
And there's the counter spell activated. No ice block and no Medea's Valet 3 damage.
Not really something you see in this matchup. More the Secret Mage Mirror that those kind of counterspell shenanigans happen, where it's mainly
Yeah.
the person who wins
And
out is the one who plays it first.
this is lethal here. If Dogmeat remembers he has Pyroblast in hand. Yep. I'm
Pretty
assuming
safe
he
to
does.
say.
Yep.
Seeing as he picks it, probably best that he remembers, and a very, very good pick for him in the end, letting Dogmeat go 1-0 up in this finals match.
Yeah, and Midges is going to have the uphill battle here. Thankfully for him, the Spiteful Priest is out of the way, so he won't have to face it again. But it'll be down to him to be able to do something next.
Absolutely. And just remember, Dogmeat also has found great success this tournament with his Evolve Shaman, if that has been left up from the bans. It's done very, very well. And again, something that Secret Mage can't really deal with without any AoE. So we'll just have to see if Shaman was banned and what Dogmeat decides to put up next as his other deck, if indeed that was the case.
Yeah, but the Secret Mage can have success against the Cube Warlock. As I say that, it is the Evolved Shaman that has been left up. And Midgets himself has swapped to his own Spiteful Summoner deck.
Managed to mulligan into some of there straight off the bat as well, with the Northshire Cleric ready to go on turn one as well as a nice body, able to clear up some of the early game minions that Shaman will put out onto the board.
And I still think it makes sense to play something on this turn, Jade Claws or Primal Flint Totem, just to get something onto the board. He is going to give his opponent a draw, but he already has the coin and an extra card, so the advantage isn't as much as it would be if he didn't have the coin, I think.
Absolutely, and you're always going to be having the priest draw against you when you're playing Shaman early game. It's just one of those things with the minions that you have, and the priest healing hero power. It's inevitable, really, to be honest.
Yeah. What I would have liked to have seen is actually throwing the weapon into the cleric so that he can heal it, yes. But then if he takes the trade, or doesn't, you can kill it on the next turn.
Absolutely. Midget's there showing that he can win the Glimmerroot minigame there by picking up the totem for extra card draw if he needs any at this point, which really he's got it for days with that second Northshire Cleric in hand.
And he would have liked to have had a Duskbreaker on that turn, I'm sure. And the Doppelgangster picked up. I don't think you... Oh,
There's potential. Is there a? There's no second dragon in Midget's hand. Otherwise, you could never spite Historian into the potential Dustbreaker for the clear. But sadly, it's not working out that way. So Midget is going to take a roll with this summoner.
Yeah, and what we're going to see on the next turn is Thrall Deathseer and Evolve on 3 Doppelgangsters.
Though there is a Tarantus, so we did get the Tarantus roll on the priest today, but this is going to be potentially very painful and game ending.
Potentially
Really.
lethal on this turn. It's not. I think you would definitely throw out the Evolve here as well.
Absolutely, I would just go full YOLO. Let's get
Battle
the
of
Evolve
the
out.
High
See.
Rolls and Geosculptor, yep, even giving him an extra card.
Not too bad. Plus, you've got the poison minion there to take out the Tarantus. It will have to be traded into by both the Drake and the Summoner if that Tarantus wants to survive just the poison minion, because the rest of the board can clear it off quite easily. And though, really, I don't think Dogmeat needs to do that. That looks like it should be lethal, just having a quick count now. Yeah, more than enough. Just counting half the board, there's at least 20.
Yeah.
Right there, it's 21.
But he can throw out at least the Tar Creeper to absorb some of the damage. I definitely think you have to trade this Tarantus. It is not going to go face this turn.
No, it always feels bad not taking a Tarantus to the face.
I mean, maybe could have drawn there before throwing down the Tar Creeper.
There's at least no. That's definitely lethal
Bloodlust, I
right there with the
believe, is
bloodlust.
lethal. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well played again by Dogmeat here. That Thrall and then the Evolve on such a big board, just completely taking control of the game and allowing him to take the final and win the entire tournament.
Yeah, well, massive congratulations to Dogmeat. In the game of high rolls there, he was certainly the champion. His opponent did get Tyrantus, but he managed to just get such a big board that Midgets just couldn't deal with it, and that was that.
Not a chance there. And again, well played by Midgets. Fantastic throughout this entire tournament, both players. But yeah, that is it for our stream and the tournament tonight. We will be back in 2 more weeks with a brand new meta for the tournament. So hopefully the players are going to bring some fantastic new decks. Just got to see what comes out with the Witchwood. Fantastic, Tim. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have.
I have had a fantastic time. I can't wait until we're back here again with Eden Esports. Make sure you go and follow them on Twitter, like them on Facebook, check them out, and yeah, get gaming and keep going.
Indeed, guys. You all take care, and we will see you soon. Good night.
Goodbye.